Today we are learning square roots. We learned straight division in previous videos. A variant of straight division can be used to find the square root of any number. The D operator is also used in this method. Let's learn this method in this video. To find the square root of a number, starting from the rightmost digit, divide the number into groups of 2 digits. It's okay to have 1 or 2 digits in the leftmost group. The number of digits in the answer before the decimal point is equal to the number of groups. Consider the number in the leftmost group. Find the perfect square less than or equal to it. Square root of this perfect square is the first digit of the answer. Double of this first digit is called the temporary divisor. Prepend the difference between the left group of the number and the square of the first digit of the answer to the next digit of the number as carry. Grouping was done to find the first digit and the number of digits in the answer, and groups have no significance in the rest of the process. Divide the next digit of the number by the temporary divisor and bring down the quotient as the second digit of the answer. Prepend the remainder to the succeeding digit of the number. At each step from the next digit of the number, subtract the result of the D operator on the previous digits of the answer, that's not including the number we estimated as first answer digit. Then divide it by the temporary divisor and bring the quotient down as the next digit of the answer. Prepend any remainder to the next digit as usual. The answer for any step cannot be negative. If it is, reduce the number for the previous step till it becomes positive or 0. We can use the backtracking procedure for this. If the number is not a perfect square, continue past the decimal point of the answer, adding decimal zeros to the number as necessary, and use the same procedure to get decimal digits of the answer. Let's find the square root of 2025. We divide the number into 2 groups. The number in the leftmost group is 20. 16 is the perfect square within 20 and 4 is its root. So the first digit is 4. The difference 20 minus 16 equals 4 by 1040 is prepend to next digit. 4 by 2 equals 8 is the temporary divisor. Now the total in the third column 42 is divided by 8 and we get 5 as quotient, and the remainder 2 by 10 equals 20 is prepend to next digit. Now we apply D operator on second digit 5. D of 5 is 25. We write this in the next column and we subtract this from 25 and we get 0 as the decimal digit. Thus the square root of 2025 is 45. Next is the square root of 14,641. We have 3 groups here. Number in the leftmost group is 1. So the perfect square here is 1 and its root is also 1. So 1 is our first digit. There is nothing to prepend to the next digit. 2 times 1 equals 2 is the temporary divisor. Now the next digit 4 is divided by the temporary divisor and we get 2 as quotient, and this is our second digit. Now we apply D operator on second digit 2 and we get result as 4. This 4 is subtracted from next digit 6 and the result 2 is divided by 2 and we get 1 as the next answer digit. Now the operator is applied on last two answer digits 2, 1. And result 4 is subtracted from next digit 4. And we get 0 as the first decimal digit. Again, the operator is applied on last three digits 2, 1, 0. And the result 1 is subtracted from the last digit 1. And we get 0 as next decimal digit. Thus, the square root of 14,641 is 121. Next is the square root of 16,129. We have three groups here. Number in the leftmost group is 1. So 1 is our first digit. There is nothing to prepend to the next digit. And 2 is the temporary divisor. To calculate second digit of the answer, we divide the next digit 6 by temporary divisor 2 and we get 3. Now we apply d operator on 3. d of 3 is 9. Subtracting this 9 from third digit 1 and dividing it by 2, the answer is minus 4. So we backtrack here. Going back to last step, 6 divided by 2, we take 2 as quotient and remainder 2 multiplied by 10 equals 20 is carried over to next column. Now we apply d operator on 2. We get 4. We subtract this from 21 and we get 17. 17 divided by 2, we get 8 as quotient. Remainder 1 multiplied by 10 is carried over to next column. Now applying the operator on last two digits to 8, we get 32. Subtracting this from 12, we get minus 20. Minus 20 divided by 2, minus 10 will be the next digit. So we backtrack here. Going back to last step, 21 minus 4 equals 17. Divided by 2, we take 7 as quotient and remainder 3 multiplied by 10, 30 is carried over to next column. Now we apply the operator on 27 and we get 28. 32 minus 28 equals 4 divided by 2 equals 2 is the first decimal digit. Now we apply the operator on 272 and we get 53 as result. And subtracting this from 9, we get minus 44 and dividing it by 2, the answer will be negative 22. So we backtrack here. In the last step, 32 minus 28 equals 4 divided by 2. We take 0 as quotient and remainder 4 multiplied by 10, 40 is carried over to next column. And we apply the operator on 270 and we get 49. Now in the last column, 49 minus 49, we get 0 as the next decimal digit. Thus, the square root of 16,129 is 127. Next is the square root of 1000. We have two groups here. Number in the leftmost group is 10. 9 is the perfect square within 10. So 3 is our first digit. 10 minus 9 equals 1 multiplied by 10 is carried over to next column and 6 is the temporary divisor. 10 divided by 6 equals 1 is the next digit of the answer. And remainder 4 multiplied by 10, 40 is carried over to next column. Now we apply the operator on second digit 1. 40 minus 1 equals 39 is divided by 6. The quotient 6 is the first decimal digit. Remainder 3 multiplied by 10, 30 is carried over to next column. Then we apply the operator on last two digits 1, 6. And result 12 is subtracted from 30 and the value 18 is divided by the temporary divisor 6 and the quotient 3 is the next decimal digit. Now we apply the operator on 163 and we get 42. One more 0 is added, then we subtract 42 from 0 and dividing this by 6 we get minus 7. So we backtrack here. Going back to last step, 30 minus 12 equals 18. Divided by 6, we take 2 as quotient and remainder 6 multiplied by 10, 60 is carried over to next column. And we apply the operator on 162 and result 40 is subtracted from 60. Result 20 divided by 6, we get 3 as quotient and remainder 2 multiplied by 10, 20 is carried over to next column. Then the operator is applied on 1623 and result 30 is subtracted from 20 and we get minus 10. Minus 10 divided by 6 we get minus 1. So we backtrack here. Going back to last step, 60 minus 40 equals 20 divided by 6 we take 2 as quotient and remainder 8 multiplied by 10, 80 is carried over to next column. The D operator is applied on 1622 and result 28 is subtracted from 80 and value 52 divided by 6 and its quotient 8 is the next decimal digit. Thus, the square root of 1000 is 31.6228. Thank you for watching this video. Please let us know your feedback by your likes and comments. Share the video with your friends too. Do subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon.